Ois base. V'hinei al hi oirus bechinas reuso de libazu. The awakening, the arousal of this rotzin halev. We were discussing before that you learn Torah, the Oisius HaTorah, and while we don't have the ability to connect like in the time of the Beis Hamikdash, but still Libi Or, we still have the ability to arouse the love that we have in our naturally, so that it is able to desire and want godliness. So this love is what the pasuk says. Amar HaKosuv, Yisraelus b'chinas rusa libazu. Amar HaKosuv, the pasuk says, Pischi li achoisi rayosef. So that's what the pasuk says. Open up for me, my sister, my beloved, or my supporter. As we will see, as the Alter Rebbe will touch now, these two levels of achoisi, calling the Yidden achoisi, to reach the level of love, both achoisi and rayos. Achoisi, he ha'ava hativis hamasuteres belev kol Yisrael. Achoisi, that's the natural love which is hidden in the heart of every Yid. Ubenafshem helikis, and in the godly soul, that natural love, sheteva zu himachmas mekoir choitzo v'shorsha. This nature comes because of the source where it was carved out and rooted. Shehi chelik elekamim al mamash. The soul is a part of Hashem above, actually, as the pasuk says, that his people are part of Havaya, part of Hashem. Memela, there is the natural love because they are part of Hashem. And that's why this natural love is called achoisi, my sister. That is like the love of a brother and a sister. Their love is a natural one because of their birth. So that references the natural love that the godly soul has because it is rooted in godliness. And the pasuk says, Pischili, open up for me, which means sha'avazu tzorich liftoyach ulohitzio mimazgir umaiser haguf v'nefesh habahamis. That this love needs to be opened up and it needs to be taken out from the lockup and in the incarceration of the body and nefesh habahamis. They incarcerate, they lock up the godly soul. So we got to take them out, pischali. We got to open up. We got to bring it out. Through the level of the rotzen halev, the desire of the heart, to arouse and wake up that love, as mentioned earlier. And that's what the pasuk is saying. Open up for me, take it out from, have that rotzen halev, take it out from its incarceration in the guf and nefesh habahamis, so that you can have the rotzen halev and the love, the desire of the heart and the love for Hashem u'kinal, like we said earlier. Further, in explained the idea of achoisi b'divrei hamaschil, savoyu elores b'parshas bahar, v'inyan rayosi nizmayr shom b'oifon achar. The rayosi is explained there otherwise. Okay, but the level of achoisi is to open up that natural love. The rayosi, what is rayosi? Pirush parnososi. That means my supporter. So the Eibishter says, open up my system, my natural love that you have, and also my supporter that you are mefarnes, you support the Eibishter. Al derech Mamer Azal, similar to the sages saying, Yisrael, blessed memory, Yisrael mefarnes in chulu, that the Yidden are supporting to the Aviyim Shabashamayim. V'ayim ashekosu roye Yisrael ha'azino chulu. Roye Yisrael, the one who's being shepherded by Yisrael. Not normally we translated the shepherd of Israel. Here we're saying Roye Yisrael, the shepherd is Israel. Shash HaKadosh Baruch Hu k'v'yochel Roye v'nizam Yisrael, so to speak, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is being shepherded and fed from the Yidden. Yisrael oisin lo yimiru mozin, that the Yidden make for Hashem the feed and the food. That's why they are rayosi, they are parnososi. Okamoishakosu ochalti yaari im dafshi. He ate the forest with the honey, basically the wood together, not only with the sweetness of it together with the actual trees. What are together with the yard itself? What are they? The koi al kriya shema ubircheseho. That goes on the shema and the brachas. Moshekosu parche says Pinchas daf reish chov vavam and beis. Ya'ari elu hamalachim. Ya'ari is the malachim. Those are the angels. Ki serafim aimdim nikroim atzei shitim aimdim. Why are they called the yar? Why are they the forest? They're the trees because serafim stand. They are called like atzei shitim aimdim, like the standing cedar trees. As we say, v'kulam aimdim. They're all standing with awe. That's called the level of standing. So what does it mean that we are eating the malochim? We're eating the yar. What does it mean? This that we say in the bracha of Yotzer Oir, Eich Shamalochim Magdishim, the angels sanctify Chulu, and then we talk about Vayfanim Berash Godel Chulu, the Vayfanim with great fanfare, and we read about Shechukosom v'Cheftzom lihischalel v'Ravayin Sof Baruch Hu. Their desire and yearning and their want is to be included in the light of Hashem and so Baruch Hu. Ubeteilim Elov Yisbarach, and they are subjugated and bottled to Him, blessed. Shebitl v'hiskalus nikro b'shem achila. That subjugation and that inclusion, that is called achila, eating up. That's consumption. That they're being consumed. Kimoy al derech marshal hamaychel shenivla be'vorim, that is absorbed in the limbs. I have the word Bevorim twice, right? Hello?
Bevorim?
Aderech Moshel Shenivla Bevorim. What's this? Aderech Moshel
Shenivla Bevorim Umitachas.
No Bevorim a second time?
No, Bevorim Umitachas. Zwei wandering, where you can put two Bevorim.
I don't know how I get the second Bevorim here. Okay. It didn't fit, Takir. K'moy Haderech Moshel Shenivla Bevorim Umisached in Dam Hanefesh, and it unites with the blood of the soul. So that's the idea of when we say Achalti, the Oichel, Achalti Yari is the fact that the Malachim are being consumed in their bittul, in their inclusion. They become part of the Ein Sof by their bittul l'sachar, just like the food becomes part of the blood of the soul that you eat. B'davshi, Elohan Neshomes. The davshi are the souls. Shehem pri hayar. They are the fruit of the forest. V'yesh b'hem mesikus v'tainug. And they have a sweetness and a pleasure in these neshamas. Me'ha'ez yetzei mosik, by the riddle of Shimshon gave it, says, from the strong came out something sweet, which is Eretz, Zovas, Cholov, Udvosh, all representing the idea of Davshi, the Zovas, Cholov, Udvosh, Vahainu, and that is, so the Yares is the Birches Krishma. Davshi is already the Shema itself. That is what we say when we read the Shema Yisrael. The Koyi al Hanitzutz Elikus, that goes, listen, Israel, that goes on the godly spark which is in every Yid, Shema Yisrael, and V'ramach Tevin, the Kriya Shema, Keneged Ramach Evrei Ha'adam, we have 248 words in the portions of the Shema to correspond to 248 limbs of a person. That means that's the Yisrael, that's the full, the person is the godly spark with the 248 limbs. Sheyiyu Ramach Evrei Ha'adam B'Telim V'Nichlolim Ba'adam Ha'elyon, that the 248 limbs of the person shall be subjugated and included in the supreme man, which is Al the Musakise, the Muskimare Odom. On the image on the throne was an image of an Odom. So in that Odom, we should be bottled to the 248 every Odom, bottled to the Odom Elyon. Bitl Ein Sof. V'nikra b'china zu b'zoyer HaKodesh li'ishta'avo begufo de Malka. This is called, this level in the Holy Zohar, to be sucked up in the body of the king. That means the Ramach Evorei Ha'odom being bottled and included in the Odom Elyon. The Hainu Liyois b'chinas bitl v'hiskalalus mamish, to be in a level of subjugation and actual inclusion, in the light of Hashem, the infinite blessed be He. Again, this is Ochalti Davshin, which means you, like food, that it becomes blood which unites with the nefesh. So when we're being consumed, Meaning we're being united with the Ein Sof. Likewise, all the powers of the person should be only to Hashem. Moshe Kosu, like we Pasuk says, Mili Vashamayim, which means there's nothing in the heavens and nothing that's with you that I wants to be included only. There's nothing else, only in Hashem Levade, only in Hashem alone. What happens with all the powers of the animal soul? The power of desire will be in a level of subdued, not listened to, and then is hapcha. Then they turn around and they also want to be connected to Hashem. So then the soul returns to Elikim, to Hashem, and it turns around, it transforms itself to the level of actual godliness, ad shelo yihye lo chayus b'tainug acha, to the extent that there isn't to her any energy, any interest, any vitality, and any pleasure other, nothing, zulas l'Hashem, besides only to Hashem alone. That's the level of Shema Yisrael. That's the level of Davshi. That's the level of the inclusion of the Neshamas Yisrael in godliness. The inclusion of the Malachim and the inclusion of the Neshamas. Achalti, the Yori, that's the Birchas Kriyashma from the Malachim and the Nitzus of the godliness of the Elokus of the Neshama in the Davshi in the Kriyashma. Hu habo machmas is boinenus nefesh hamaskelis. That comes, that level of only wanting Hashem and im choloi chafatzti comes because of the reflection of the soul that understands amaskelis. Shem is boinenes bigdulas ein sof baruch hu. It meditates, it reflects on the greatness of the Ein Sof, blessed be He, Asher Ein Arich Elov Yisborech, that there is nothing to compare, nothing compares to Him, blessed. And everything before Him is considered like not exist, nothing important. There's nothing important before Hashem. And it all is like a drop in the okeanos, the ocean. So therefore, the nefesh, the soul, because of that reflection and that grasp and that understanding, the soul will become tibotl hanefesh b'mitzias. The soul will be negated and subjugated from its existence. Eloh Yisbarach, to Hashem blessed. V'yashlich meneged kol hachayis v'chol hatanugim. He will throw away from him, against him, far away, all of the energies, all the vitalities, v'chol hatanugim, and all the pleasures, asher lo la'avayehem, but that are not to Hashem, but rather l'davka b'oi levadei yizbarech, just to connect to Him alone, blessed, b'oir Ein Sof baruch hu mamish, in the light of the Ein Sof, blessed be actually mekoir hachai, the source of life, umekoir hatanugim, and the source of all the pleasures. That's where He's going to connect. Belishum taruve zor upniyas delegarmei, without any strange mixtures in there, and no motivations for himself. Nothing, not self-interest. Rak b'chinas bitlu v'eskalus b'elakus mamish. Only in a level of subjugation and included in godliness. Where does that come from? From the hisbonenus of the Kriya Shema. Then you get that rotzin alev, that becomes later on the parnososi, becomes the food. Hine moisha maichul hamisakel v'nasedam. Just as the food that is digested becomes blood, who hamisachet im dam hanefesh, that unites with the blood of the soul, umechaber umekasher hashros nefesh beguf loses loy chayim, and it connects and ties the soul to the body to give the body life. So basically, what happens through the food is the way to pass along the life force to the body. The food that we provide, the achalti, that provides for the connection from the chayis, from Hashem into the world, into the person, into the body. Likewise, through the arousal of below, in this level of subjugation and inclusion, to the extent that it turns actually to godliness, that the nefesh habahamis with the desires turns into godliness that's like the blood, like the food, becoming dam, the nimshach chayis ve'orein sof baruch hu kaviyachol, so to speak. This draws down the energy, the vitality, and the light of the Ein Sof, blessed be, so to speak, so that he connects and he ties. The Ein Sof will connect and tie in the level of the body. Ebisha comes down to the body. How so? What is the level of gufa? Those are the measures. The Ebish says measures. As it says in the Zohar, there are many bodies that you have set up for them, meaning for the Ein Sof. You have chesed ro'im, gvura chulu ro'im smola, which are the level of midas. Midas chazdoi ugvura yisborech, the measure of chesed and gvura of blessed, his chesed gvura. Hein bechinas guf legabe haneshama, they're like the body relative to the soul, who ein sof baruch hu b'chvoide b'atzma b'chvoide. The neshama, so to speak, that is the light of the Ein Sof, blessed be by himself. The lav mikol ilam midas klal. He is not at all of these midas. To have him dress up that oil, that neshama into the body, into the midas. Afilu b'chokhma iloksi, even higher than midas. When we talk about level of chokhma, that silus, over there it also says kulam b'chokhma osisa, that Hashem made with chokhma is like asiya shenechsheves ki asiya gashmi. So even chokhma is asiya. Lav mikol ilamidas is not connected. Commercial kosum. The amarti oilam chesed yibona. The Eberster says the oilam, there should be built chesed. Shach chesed The chesed needs to be built and created. So that the Ein Sof Baruch Hu, his light, should dress up in the measure of chesed. V'chein b'shar hamidas and other u'b'chochma d'chochma. V'ayim asher l'chosov le'il b'zeh b'dibur hamaschil l'shusos. So that becomes the sustaining to bring down the chayis of the Ein Sof into the midas, comes through the Michael, comes through the Sarusa de Latata that is provided by the Yid. Binyan zeh u'mesarusa de Latata zu. And this building of Olam Chesed Yibonah to bring down into the level of the midas is Ubechinas Bitl Iskalus Mamash, which is a level of subjugation, including that comes from the bitl, that the Yidden's bitl and Iskalus Mamash. That's how you bring down the light. Just that, like there cannot be the connection, the tie from the soul with the body from the food. You need achamis akel v'nasedam until it's digested and it becomes blood. The food doesn't connect right away. The food first has to be digested, has to become blood, and then the blood, that unites with the blood of the soul, and then we get the chayis. You cannot draw down, it's impossible to draw down the chayis on the Ein Sof Baruch Hu, the liyos hislapshus oir Ein Sof Baruch Hu b'chochma u'chesed, and that there should be the hislapshus of the blessed light in Sof and Chochma Chesed, machmas isarusa de latata, because of the arousal below, hi'im shatiya bebechinas bitl v'iskalus mamash. First, it needs to be a level of subjugation and inclusion, mamish, like that's the digestion of the food. Ad shetoshuv hanefesh b'bechinas alakus mamish kinal, until the soul turns and it becomes godliness, actual godliness. Okay, and that brings about the hamshocha from the Ein Sof Baruch Hu in the Chochma and Chesed in all the midas because of the Sarusa Lutata. But we still need to understand the reason for all this. Where does the power, this power to the soul that is dressed in the body, have the koyach, the power, Lisarusa de Latata Kazu, for such a great, such a level of arousal of below, Lis Ached im Elokus, to unite with Elokus, Lahamshich Chayes Va'ir Sof Baruch Hu B'midos HaKadoshos. How does it have that power to bring down the Chayes Va'ir Sof into the holy midos? So Yuvon will understand it, the Biur Hatam, that the physical food which comes from the inanimate, the growing, and the living, they are on a lower level of the person who is the speaking, in the the human beings in the highest level. So how come the Olav Yichya Ha'odam, and the person lives on the food that he gets from the lower level, from the Daimon Semeach Chai? Why is the Medaber living off of the lower Daimon Semeach Chai? Elahainu, but that is because Mipnei Shakol Moitze Pi Havaye Shebemichael Yichya Ha'odam, because of the Moitze Pi Havaye, which is in the food, that what the person lives on. The Moitze pi havaya hu hamechayehu. It's what comes out from the pi Hashem, the dibur, from the energy that gives life to the food that vitalizes the person. So not the food itself, but the source from the food comes. But still the questions remains, the person also has the moitze pi havaya that comes from Hashem, the energy for the odom. The lomot tzarich oid lemoitze pi havaya. So why would he need further also to have the moitze pi havaya in the food? But the idea is the ksiv ochel v'kedem tzartoni. It says, I'm behind, but I'm also in the beginning, you formed me. The Gemara explains that ochel means in the behind, l'maisa bereshis, meaning in the act of creation, chulud, the human was created last in creation, on Friday, after all creations were created earlier. Therefore, the moitze pi havaya, which is in the food, that comes from higher and upper elevated level, the moitze pi havaya. Because we're only the sixth day, the food comes from an earlier, from a higher level. And that's why the food has the power to draw down the energy of nefesh ha'adam, his lapshusa, to connect it and dress it up in the body. Just as it's in the example, Shamaycho Agashmi Mechayes Ha'adam Umechaber Nefesh Ha'adam Begufoi. So physically in the example, the physical food vitalizes the person and connects his soul with the body, and that is Mipnei Moitze Pi Havaya Shaboy, is because of the food has the Moitze Pi Havaya. Same thing is by the nimshol. When we talk about this arousal of below from the human being, from the yid, in the level of subjugation, inclusion, shenikra b'shem achilo lemailo. That's called food. That's subjugation. It's being swallowed in above. That's called the food. So shemamshich chayis va'oir in Sof Baruch Hu lihislabish, and this draws down the vitality in the Insof to dress up b'chinas gufa into the level of the body, chesed raya yemina gvura chulu, into the body. Moitze pi havaya, that also comes because of the moitze pi havaya. What is the moitze pi havaya? Hu koyach v'chayis elikus sheyesh liYisrael b'shorsho. That's the power. That's the godly vitality that didn't have in their source. Shehu mimadrega el yoines, shehu mimadreges el yoines sheba eirin Sof Baruch Hu. Because it comes from the supreme high levels of the Sof Baruch Hu. Because Yidden have a very high source, a higher source. And that's why they have the koyach to be mamshich. Yisrael olu b'machshove, because Yidden came up in machshove, because they came up in machshove, that makes them on a higher level. And therefore they are able later on to be mamshich down, that the Ein Sof should be nimshach in the midos, the chokmah in the midos, as we will explain now what exactly is the level of Olo b'machshava.